Hey girls, how's it going? This is Carolyn from Let's Talk, and this is our second edition. First and foremost, shout out to Tiana, who was our very first girl who chimed into the discussion. Actually, she led the discussion. She started the discussion, so thumbs up to you. Okay, so this week we're going to be talking about more of a serious topic, and it's on the topic of bullying. A few years ago, I was on the bus on the TTC, and maybe I was like in my early 20s, late teens, I'm not really sure. And so I was sitting kind of in the middle, close to the end of the bus, and these couple of girls came in. They probably were maybe 16-ish, you know, but they were just so loud, so rude, like it was so, you know, unnecessary the way they were carrying on when they came on the bus, and they were talking to each other, but they were just, you can tell like how the bus just kind of, everyone in the bus got silent, didn't even make eye contact because they just didn't want to draw attention of those girls to them. So those girls actually ended up sitting in front of me, like facing me at the back of the bus, and they were sitting beside an older gentleman, and they started talking to him, but very rudely, and they actually started making fun of him. You know, he answered them. He didn't understand what they were saying. They were just, you know, kind of patronizing him with, you know, just regular questions, and just kind of demeaning the way they would speak in their voice. They were demeaning the way they spoke in their voice. And because he also had an accent, it kind of fueled the whole thing too, and they started making fun of that. And then they started getting on him about his breath, and when he realized what was going on, it's like the man just completely, you know, you could tell the walls went up, and he was so embarrassed. He turned all red. He even almost looked like he was going to cry of just the embarrassment that these girls were causing him. And the whole time this was happening, you know, everything inside of me wanted to stand up for the man and just tell them just leave him alone and not, you know, to stop bothering him, like it's so unnecessary what they were doing. But I was scared. And I was scared because if I stood up, that means the attention on him was going to be on me, and they're going to start on me. And these girls, they're very vicious, and just with their words, and I can only imagine how they would have been, you know, physically, and they probably, you know, would have wanted to start something with me, which I was not prepared to do, and didn't want to do. But I've carried that with me for up until now. You know, I've carried it with me because I didn't stand up for that man. I didn't. I was silent just like everybody else, and I didn't stand up, and it carried on until till their stop came. So my question to you, when it comes to bullying, do you find it difficult to stand up for someone who's being picked on, for, you know, someone who is, you know, the victim of a bully? I was speaking to somebody, and they were saying to me that about 50% of bullies stop bullying as teenagers stands up for their young girls. How do you deal with that? Do you find it difficult to stand up for someone who's being picked on? And if you have stood up for somebody, you know, tell me about it. I really want to know. It will be so encouraging for not even just for myself, but for the other girls who, you know people who are being bullied and are afraid to stand up. So let's begin the conversation. Let's talk about bullying.